Let's take a look at the next progression of our butterfly slow recovery drill and the pieces of equipment we'll be using along with the key items. So in a previous progression, we were using either a snorkel and blades and fins. In this one, your swimmer should be ready to let go of the snorkel and just wear the fins. So let's go over the kind of the key items and the things that we look for. In our kick, so this is going to be done with the Dolphin kick, we want to see that the feet are pointing, which we have achieved right there. And then what we also want to see is just this natural bend in the knee. Now, what do we mean exactly kind of by, natural bend? Because this can range and be very dependent upon athlete to athlete. What we don't want to see, and we'll go talk about some extremes here, is the kick being performed kind of like this, where the leg is straight and everything is just kind of staying right here at the surface level. If we kind of kick like this, we're not going to really be moving through the water very well, kind of just going to be very stiff, and you're not really going to move anywhere. The legs will just kind of give out. Now, another extreme is if we have something kind of like this, where the knee is really very close to that 90 degree or approaching that 90 degree, and it's just kind of going back and forth and kicking a lot of air, making a little contact with the surface of the water. Same here also kind of holds true if we are on the inside and kind of bringing those knees into the stomach area. And then what we would see is just kind of the knees flexing up back and forth. There's a lot of turbulence being created. However, you're not really going to be catching a lot of water on the legs to be able to move. So as the feet kind of rise right here, we want to see them come out of the water a little bit because that is one of the items that we want to see when we are doing the kick. But what we want to emphasize with the athlete is for them to kind of imagine that there's a ball under them, and then we want to see them really kick down hard like this with the legs ending up under the body. When we do that, we're catching great water here on the down kick. And then we want to be able to bring those feet back up to the surface to be able to keep repeating. So make sure that we're going to be continuing to emphasize that with your athletes. All right, now let's kind of talk about the arms. Now, the recovery portion of this is going to feel a little, maybe a little wonky, a little unnatural because of just how the arms are going to be recovering a little bit later than we would want to see them actually be versus the normal stroke. So we'll go over when that's going to happen here in a second, but what we want to kind of talk about is just where do the hands kind of come out. We like to typically see the hands come out either at the hip or where the suit is going to be cut along the hip. That way, what we should be able to do is ensure keeping the arms here nice and low to the surface of the water. Check that out. Really great job there by our athlete. And then what we want to see is the hands here are pointing here behind us, or the palms here are facing behind us. When the arms are approaching, making a T here with the body, then what we want to do is flip the hands the direction. So we were kind of going backwards. Now what we want to be able to do is think about going downward. And that will continue until we get into that landing position. We want to see that landing position here being in front of the body. Now, for our senior and advanced age group athletes, we really recommend doing this in front of the shoulders. For more younger age group swimmers or developmental swimmers, coming outside the shoulders would be just kind of desirable. So that way, when the hands pull, they can kind of engage into that catch right away. So here are athletes coming in front of the shoulders. Our emphasis point wants to be to stretch the arms forward and then get that chest down. We want all of our athletes to remember that butterfly is not this kind of loopy type motion, even though that we'll experience that a little bit here in this drill. We want to remember about fly being an up and forward movement. There is this inverse relationship created between the chest and feet and the hips. Here we kind of see the chest and feet going down, the hips are going up. And then the opposite here is that the chest and feet are up while the hips are down. That inverse relationship is always going to exist when we're doing this drill, or butterfly even in general. And then we just kind of like letting the feet just kind of kick passively. We don't need to necessarily kick really, really hard. Now, one of the big things with this drill is just to really work on that soft landing. So that way, when we make contact with the water, there's kind of a little splash there. What we would want to see is a stream of water here to go forward. If we kind of see on that landing that we get a crash like this where it kind of makes an X, or we see a lot of water here going upward, that tells us that there's a disconnect with that breath. So again, kind of here where the weird part of this drill is going to be is just that we're breathing a little or recovering a little bit later than we would, but we like the ability to stretch forward, hit that chest going down, so that way we can also feel the great flow then through here the rest of the body. And then we just kind of keep repeating those items again. On the takeoff view here, we see fins, the feet are pointing. Again, we want to make sure we're remembering to kick down and get under the body as we're performing that kick. So our athlete here actually could go a little bit more below the body. The kick is forceful, which is good, but remember we want to make sure that we're ending up in a good spot, so that way there's going to be a good balance of power and speed when we're doing that kick. On the return view here, just again that breath nice and low. We want to see those eyes stay diagonal going forward, the head getting into the water, and then we're going to recover those arms. And again, here, really great use of that wingspan. Arms here are nice and low. The hands here again are continuing to be here behind us. We are going to land in front of those shoulders. Just remember again what we referenced earlier for the entry point being dependent upon the level of athlete. Feet here are coming up, then getting down. We see that great turbulence right there. And we're moving really well through the water right there. So really good job here. All right, underwater, what we want to look for is on that entry point. So kind of see that we got a little bit of that down up. We want to kind of make sure that the arms stay a little bit more up here to the surface. And then when we set that catch, here our athlete kind of makes this round out movement for an out sweep. We would want to see that our athlete gets those fingertips to get down. Make sure we're going to redraw that right there. And then what we want to see, just as with any of our strokes, is this power triangle on both sides. Here, what we would want to see is bringing the arms in a little bit closer so that they're more under the shoulders. That'll help draw also the elbows in, helping our athletes really kind of discover the balance of just, again, that speed and power, so that way they can grab and have a really strong, efficient catch. Overall here, and again, remember, every athlete can perform these drills to different levels. So keep working, give them feedback, stay engaged. If you found some great value out of this, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. We've got a lot of great drill videos and breakdowns on our channel.